pite.
Hello everybody, welcome back. So let's have a look at this chart for what it's worth. It kind of feels like a bit of a silly thing to do given what's going on in the world. I mean, I've got two kids, being a father of two, with what's going on in the world, with Russia making that horrendous move today, it kind of makes this whole charting of a Bitcoin kind of like just almost not irrelevant, but I mean just a silly thing to do when you think of the horrors that are taking place as we speak right now and the implications of what that could mean further along down the line. It's pretty horrible, to be honest with you, but we'll do it anyway, and we won't make it too long because we made a video about the potential of much further downside based on technicals, but also things that take place outside of the chart. We spoke about that the other day. We spoke about it last night on the live stream, and it's becoming more evident as we speak. So the Ichimoku cloud signal, the short signal, will be generated when this Chiku span closes below the cloud. If we were to do it this week, it would be a closure of, we established all the threes, 33,333 thereabouts, basically. The following week would be a little less, 33,000. Was it 33,000? A little higher, so it can close higher. So 33,600, and bit by bit, week by week, it kind of creeps up, and those closures can just it doesn't have to be quite so low. It can be higher. So that would implicate a signal generated on a weekly for a large move, not a continuation of a trend, but a large move down. We spoke about areas that could be particularly interesting for bottoms or wicks to come down to. The 200 exponential on a weekly would be one, which is about 23,500. That could easily be the area, or even worse than that, we go to the monthly. We could see the 50 exponential, which is around 21,400 at the moment. Again, these are all trending up, but again, it's obviously quite a large move down. So we've got our negative cross, we've got our bearish divergence, we've got money flow leaving on the monthly. At the moment, we've not closed below the 21 or the 20 exponential, but we could, and that would historically does suggest much bigger moves down as well. So there are a lot of reasons why this could go down, and down fast, based on monthly and weekly signatures, signals. So I can't make this into a bullish scenario for anybody. However, buyers have stepped in at the top of this buy zone. This was previously a kind of an accumulation vibe as we came down into this zone. We spent wicks sort of shooting up above here, a lot of candle closers above it, a bit below it, and then finally when we did dig down deeper, we came down to this major double bottom zone where we flew up. So the buyers have tried already to step in at this particular level, but there's no reason and no need to get particularly bullish on what we're looking at here. There's nothing really bullish about it. And as I was saying on the live stream to people yesterday, I said, look, your available capital needs to remain available. We don't know where this chart is likely to go down to, but if we're just basing it around things like Federal Reserve monetary policy, that they're going to give us some clarification next month, it could lead to obviously much lower prices in the immediate term, especially with what's going on today and the unfolding events that will that will come out hour to hour, really. And again, when the American markets open shortly, we'll see what response they have, which I can't imagine being too positive, but it'll be interesting to see what they do as a result of what's happening at the moment. The downside is clearly continuing, and there isn't any bullish signals on it. If anything, all we've got going for us now is bearish signals, which means that we keep the funds that we've got available for lower prices, much lower prices. And that's a good thing, right? And that's why, I made the joke on Twitter, effectively, is what my portfolio used to be 60% crypto, 40% fiat tether. Now it's the opposite of that, 60% fiat tether and 40% crypto. It's probably less than that now, and again, I didn't press any buttons to make that adjustment. It did that itself. So yeah, we're looking for effectively maybe a bounce from this level, maybe a bounce up to 36,600 or thereabouts. That could be as much as it goes. It might not even go that level. Again, it's looking pretty sad, looking pretty tired, but so is the world at the moment, and so this kind of represents the sentiment which is taking place in the entire world right now, which is massive uncertainty, huge economic implications for Russia, which will then be transferred back over to every country. Really, we're all going to feel the pressure of sanctions. Russia the most, but it'll creep over, it'll spill over. everyone trades with each other. We all benefit from each other in some way or another, and so obviously cutting off an enormous country like Russia from everything that they're looking to do will creep over to us, and we're already suffering mega inflation. With this kind of situation occurring, I mean, it's going to be a very difficult financial market to navigate through, to be honest. But that said, lower prices are welcomed for those with the available funds, and mostly we're going to be focusing on Bitcoin. We look at the Bitcoin dominance chart today, and we see that we do have a massive move up to that 200 exponential, which might suggest that any moment now we do get a small rejection from this level, unless of course we see a huge dump across the board, which would spike this up as all altcoins come down to basically calamity lows, and just get completely wiped out. Small caps more so, top caps also. Bitcoin definitely, it's not looking good, and this chart effectively suggests that. So again, not that I'm very prevalent on Twitter, but I did post about how we could navigate through this chart for looking for altcoin seasons, or at least significant places to buy them. And we do have low form here, and basically highs over here, low back down here again, high big rejection over here, lows form roughly down here. So we would be looking for a position in altcoins, generally speaking, next time we come up to this particular level. Now, if we are going to go into a horrendous, huge sell-off across all markets, then obviously altcoins are going to get hit really hard. We'll have to see what kind of reaction we get when we get here. The best alt seasons are going to be from much higher positions. 52 would be amazing, and even better than that would be 58. These are all excellent positions to be thinking about entering into altcoins, but for the moment Bitcoin is the asset to trade, and it's the only real crypto to watch, because it is going to dictate the overall health of altcoins. However, we can look at this and we can navigate through whatever altcoin it is that we're interested in at the time, if and when, most likely when we approach this 47 to 48% dominant zone, where we might get at least a rejection from here, which would mean altcoins will catch back up to Bitcoin in the short term. And again, it's a chart that will develop over time, and we can see what strengths and weaknesses we get. And again, this will go up in the form of downside moves for the entire market, as we've already seen that move take place today with this candle. Right. I am going to leave you with you there, because there's not a great deal to think about. We will watch the American markets open, and we will see what's going on in the rest of the world. And again, it's like we've been saying for a little while, there are things outside of this chart which have as much, if not more, relevance to than the technicals, and so for the moment that's what's being felt across the board. When it comes to technicals though, Bitcoin is still the major one. Altcoins we can't say so much, but Bitcoin definitely has the technicals there to pull itself out of this, as we notice that gold is moving up. We can think about Bitcoin being your store of value, which it definitely is, provided you bought it, like Michael Saylor says, 5 years ago is always the best time to buy it. So again, it's still a decent store of value. The idea of it coming down below my original entry points, which are all the way down here, kind of unlikely. The worst case scenario, we're looking for the lower 20s. So store of value still relevant for somebody like me, but maybe not so for people that joined when Elon Musk was touting it, and all the way up here. And again, for those who bought the Matt Damon top as well. So that I can understand the fears and the pain, and but at a day like today, I think the financial markets are the least of my concerns, really. My thoughts go out to basically all the families, and that are going through probably the closest thing you can get to hell right now. So we'll leave it with you there, but thanks for watching. Keep your ear to the ground, keep your eyes on the traditional markets as well, and best of luck to all of you. And I'll make another video tomorrow as the situation unfolds. Personally, on a leaving note, when it comes to this chart specifically, the buyers stepping in here is kind of reassuring for Bitcoin itself, reassuring as an intermediate term basically. But it's not looking good on the monthly or weekly. We don't have a short signal on the weekly though, and what we'd be thinking about really is how are American markets going to react and then what does that imply for the Fed? As well, global economies will be feeling the shock of what's taking place today, and let's just see how they respond, because it's an intricate web of economics out there, and who really knows? The markets will tell us. The markets will tell us. I expect, first of all, shock in all markets. It's the reaction after the shock which will be the interesting thing. But to imagine anything particularly bullish or bottomy coming out of this little move, which is only a little move really when you think about what's actually happening in globally, it's only still a small move. So it's not the big huge death wick that you would imagine to see. Given the scope of what's actually happening as we speak. Right, I will leave it with you there, but thanks for watching, and take it easy.